Welcome, Love Giants. We are back for another awesome episode. And tonight we've got a special guest, so hang tight. We'll be right there. I feel like a 70s robot. Yeah, right? It totally feels like that. So welcome, Love Giants. We are back for another amazing episode. And today we've got a special guest. I'm going to dive right into her bio. And today we're thrilled to have the extraordinary Lisa Tell me if I'm saying this right. Concepcion?
You did it.
Yeah. She's gracing our studio. So as a certified professional LoveLife strategist, coach, and a beacon of wisdom in the realms of dating and relationships, Lisa is the mastermind behind LoveQuestCoaching.com. Her mission: to revolutionize the love lives of type A success-driven individuals who find themselves at a crossroads in love. With her impressive repertoire of over 800 videos on YouTube, a vibrant social media presence, and the transformative Self-Love Club on Facebook, Lisa brings a wealth of knowledge, tips, and insights that have illuminated top media outlets like Reader's Digest, Parade, and Cosmopolitan. So her coaching style is not just efficient and intuitive, but also incredibly supportive and empowering, making her the perfect guide for your love life journey. So if you're ready to thrive in love, let's dive in and give a warm welcome to Lisa Concepcion.
So happy to be here with you both.
We need some like hands, some clapping, and in the background, I'm gonna have to upload some music for that, right?
Always.
Cool. So, I like to start out with where this all began for you. Why did you start to do what you're currently doing?
So in 2015, I got divorced from my college sweetheart. We were married for 17 years. And when that separation and subsequent divorce happened, it brought me to that dark night of the soul moment that people who often go into this type of work face. And then they go through this journey of rebuilding themselves. So I equate that moment to being, there's rock bottom. So I was like beneath rock bottom by like 50 feet with like a crap pile on top of me. But through that, I was able to see a little light, and it just consumed me. And I was like, if I just keep focusing on that light and I do the work, I know that light will open and open and open, and I will be free. So I committed wholeheartedly to my own personal development. I learned that I was codependent due to the way I was raised and the perceptions around my childhood that I had and that I carried, and that it led me to make decisions in my relationships as I got older, which many people go through this, but they don't know why, right? So I went on this expedition of the soul, right? Just looking at like, why did I make the decisions that I made in my life, in relationships? Why did I show up the way I showed up? And in doing so, I healed. I did this massive, my gosh, it was about 10 months of courses and studying and reading books and lectures and seminars and you name it. And if somebody told me, Lisa, take this Post-it pad and stick it to your head and hop on one foot and you will be healed, I would have done it. That's how desperate I was. And I would have spent like $3,000 for the Post-it. That's how desperate I was for healing.
We have a course called Post-it Notes on Your Forehead. And it happens to be $3,000. So.
Amazing. Great price point. So I did that, and I really transformed my life. I learned how to have boundaries, and I learned how to stick up for myself and advocate for myself and communicate in a way that was way more feminine and not from this like masculine woundedness and trying to control everything. And I just really returned back to myself. And in October of 2015, I was on an acupuncture table and I had this crazy spiritual encounter where I was crying uncontrollably because they put a needle in the heart chakra and I was heartbroken. So the energy was moving and I was doing one of these kinds of cries like, like that, right? Horrible. So, but I needed to release that. It was so much pent up, horrible, just ick energy in the heart chakra. So Guy puts needle in, boom, it starts to release. So he
Was it
tells
like
me,
Concepcion?
just lay here. He says to me, so nice, lay here and just breathe. I'm going to step out of the room and give you some time and just breathe into what it is you're feeling. So as I do this, I hear myself talking to me, but like standing over here. So there's broken me on the table crying, acupuncture needles. And then there's divine me, like badass me, like me of the future. And she says to me, my love, do you know who I am? And I'm laying on the table and I'm like, I think so. And she goes, I love you so much. And I was there for all of it. You and I, we stick. People will come and people will go, but you and I are eternal. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I'm like, I think I do. I read about this. And so she says, so I saw everything that was happening with you, and this was part of it all, right? Because when you are outside the other end of this, you are going to change the world and you're going to help a bunch of people, and everything is going to change in your life. And I said, okay. And the guy came back and took out the needles, and I felt this like recharge of purpose and just clear mission. And somebody that I was talking to in, the community of, healers and what have you, said that something similar happened to her when she was at a retreat in Costa Rica. And she said it was your receiving of your divine assignment. So it was very important. And I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what I felt it was. So that was what inspired me to become coach. My therapist at the time was complimenting me and telling me, you should go back to college and you should get your degree for being a family therapist and all this. And I looked into that and I was like, yeah, but I think that's wonderful. And I love what you did with me. And I really see value in what you helped me to achieve. But I'm interested in like from here to there. I want to go over there and I want to help people once they have gone through therapy and they understand why they are the way they are. What do they do with all of that? That's the piece that I wanted to play in. And I did it for myself. And then I said, okay, well, I'm starting to put videos out all over the place and people are resonating with them. So they started, this was like more Facebook and a little bit of Instagram. And people were DMing me, oh, I saw your video. I love your story. I'm going through something similar. Would you mind talking to me? And I'm like, sure. So that turned into a thing where people were like, okay, well, you were on the phone with me for 90 minutes. Like, I feel like I should pay you. And I'm like, oh, that's okay. Lisa, no, for real. I got more out of talking with you in an hour and a half than like 10 years of therapy. Like, I need to pay you something just to put the, energy flow right. So the guy's like, do you have PayPal? I'm like, I don't have a PayPal. I don't know what you're talking. Like this, I had none of that, right? It wasn't even a business yet. And he showed me how to set up a PayPal. I did it. And he like PayPal'd me like $200. So I was like, huh. Then more people. And I was like, wait a second, this is starting to turn into something and I don't know what I'm doing. So I decided to train to be a coach through the accreditation of the Institute of Professional Excellence in Coaching, IPEC. So that was in 2017. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do marketing and PR and all that. And then I'm going to focus on this coaching thing until I can do that full time. And then I'll just put all my focus there. So that journey was 2019. So it took me from 2015, certification in 2017, coaching full-time on my own 2019. And I've been doing it ever since. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I love the people I meet. I love like you guys, right? Like people along the journey, bloggers, podcasters, all the people that like write articles that had me quoted in them, just like all the fun people along the way, my clients, of course, and then their friends that they recommend to me, refer to me. It's just amazing. It's just been really, really fun.
So you talked earlier about the, just before the show, about the treasure trove, right? And so we all have some version of ourselves that we develop through childhood and all of this. And then we go into relationship and then we think we're something inside a relationship. And then we get divorced and we find out I'm a mess buried in crap, right?
Pretty much.
So, but then people get afraid to look at that treasure trove. And that's where the gold is, right? So can you speak to that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. So exactly that. We all have this box or a treasure chest. Some people, even I've described it as the mansion of your soul. And you walk through, and there are all these rooms. And sometimes you're too scared to turn the light on. Sometimes you're just too scared to look and see what's really hiding behind the curtains and under the rug. And it's really the gift of our journey. And the blessing is that you don't have to do it alone. And with teachers and coaches and therapists and whomever, authors of books, you are given these tools once you commit to go all in and look at it all. So once you decide, and I've heard this all through my coaching practice, like hundreds and hundreds of people, they're like, I just decided last week enough is enough. And I went on YouTube and I typed something in and you popped up. And I just love that because there's a lot of miracles. There's serendipitous yumminess to all of that, right? I always say, oh, Google. I'm like, no, God is my algorithm, right? Like that's the algorithm. You go on social media and you see the right person at the right time giving you the message in the way that you can hear it. So that is a person that can help you walk through the mansion of your soul, open the treasure chest, look behind. If you smell a dead rat in the wall, that's an old trauma. Let's get in there with a hammer and bang that out and look at it and sort it out. And it's a blessing, really, truly, because we're all teachers, right? We're all students. And when we mix it up in this level of consciousness, like magical things happen when you connect with people that you don't even know. Like you don't know. At least for me, I don't know. People are on my calendar. I have no idea who they are. They'll be like, hey, I saw you on TikTok. Help me save my marriage. And then, 3 sessions in, it's like, yeah, you guys can totally turn this around if you want to. Or conversely, it's like, we want to part amicably and we have children and we want to stay a family. We just want to change the form of the family. I'm like, I'm on board for that. Let's do it. So I think it's been really helpful that my own childhood was divorced parents by the time I was 3. My parents were very young and my dad was very involved in my life, but I was an only child and both of my parents remarried very soon. So I was like 9 years old with the stepmom, 15 with a stepdad. So I had 4 different personalities to kind of acquiesce to all the time. Not to mention, I lived in a home with aunts, uncles, cousins. So it was just easy to lose yourself and be a people pleaser to everybody around you. So that's where my codependency was rooted in. And I always had this longing for quality time with my father. But because my family was so big with grandparents and everybody, whatever, it was like I couldn't really get that one-on-one time that I so craved. And that is what led to attention seeking and feeling validated through men and, that very intense love, like, puppy love to the 10th degree, and I noticed, through my patterns in hindsight, looking back at everything, there was definitely patterns of how I showed up in relationships and I was able to connect those dots. And so that's what I help people to do when they open their treasure trove and they look at, this is what happened to me when I was 6. This is what happened to me when I was 16. There is a beautiful thread, although it looks like a hot mess. It is beautiful to trust that process. Because when you start to connect those dots, you really come home to yourself. And that's where the real healing happens. And then the integration part is, now that I know all of this about myself, what are new decisions that I can make moving forward from this point on? And that is always the piece that I feel people are most hungry for. Because anybody can read a pile of books and go to see Tony Robbins and walk on the fire and all that. But if they don't really internalize it, come Monday after the big seminar and all the money is paid, you're back to the same life. So the integration aspect was huge for me. And I feel like, wow, it's like an intention that I set with my clients, because this work is a lot of time. It's a lot of emotional investment. And so I always want people to come away with an integrated, sustainable newness to their life. So that's pretty much like how I roll with coaching. And It's fun. I love it. It's like we have sessions where I'll like have a person like crying and then at the end of it snort laughing. Like it's
Yeah.
totally different emotions that come out, you know.
So
It's
I'm
great.
curious, you know, like when people come out of relationships, so we come out and then we have that period, hopefully, of being able to work on ourselves and really come to who we are and navigate that. And by ourselves, we're not as triggered as we might be in a relationship. So then we go back into a relationship and stuff we didn't experience while we were single comes up, right? And so we've got to navigate that and also make sure that we don't put it on the other person because, you know, it's not theirs. But so many times I've heard people say, you know, they'll talk about a past relationship and somebody will do something in the new relationship. And then they'll say, well, my ex did that. Right. And then not just say that, but then put it on the person like they did the same thing. And we haven't done that yet. That's not,
You
that's
guys
not
are new.
right. No. And we're, you know, we're still navigating. We're about 3.5 months into a relationship, you know, and
How did you guys meet?
do you want to tell that a little bit?
Sure.
We were just talking about that, like
Yeah.
the whole dynamic. So.
Well, we've known each other for 3 years of each other. And we've been at different things and we've missed each other. I'd always meet Ryan, his partner, in the Tribe of Giants. But yeah, we just happened to run into each other one time, had a great conversation. And it was that. I mean, you could see he had this Great Wall of China in front of him. It was great. And then,
You're right.
but we had a great conversation.
Barbed wire. Do not
Yeah, you
enter.
can see that. And then we saw each other at a friend's birthday party and just very casual. And I, for some reason, felt like I had an extra ticket to a concert. So I just said, hey, you want to go to the concert? And I didn't have any intentions, you know. Yeah, he's a good looking guy, but I wasn't in for a relationship or anything like that. And so we did. And, you know, close to the end, I did start flirting with him a little bit, gave him a little back massage. And then
I'm reading the signs, right? I'm liking this, right?
Good.
I wanted my
She's
feet
like
massaged.
chipping away at the wall.
She broke, like, if I had walls up, which I did, they were thick. She broke them down like big time, and they're still breaking down. Let's say it that way. Like they're still breaking down.
So
But
they were concrete, but now they're more like Lego.
Yeah. A little more like
Snap 'em
Lego.
off.
And it took a while. It wasn't, I think neither one of us were desperate for a relationship. So there was like zero pressure. We weren't anxious and, oh, I got to get the guy or I got to get the girl and I got to show up this way and that way. It was just like, yeah, this is fun. I enjoy your company. This is cool. Whatever happens, whatever. And I flat out told him, I just told him, I said, I don't want a boyfriend, but I do want to kiss you.
Ah,
And I said, I don't want a boyfriend either.
great reply.
And then he kissed me, you know, so it's great.
And the kiss was good, obviously.
It's
But I was a lot like, have you seen
It's pretty
Chad on
good.
Saturday Night Live? Chad. I was a lot like Chad on Saturday Night Live. I was like, she's like, do you want to go out? Okay. You want to kiss? Okay. I'm still going to date. Okay.
Yeah.
Like
It was just like
there was no pressure at all in the beginning.
zero pressure. But we just found that we just started hanging out and enjoyed amazing conversations and connection, and it just developed.
That's
Yeah.
so good.
So
Got
yeah.
deeper and deeper. And
It
then
did.
we finally made it official. And then we've just been navigating since then.
Yeah.
Just like,
And it's great.
it is great, actually.
I think like number one is like communication.
A lot. Yeah, we
A lot of
communicate a lot.
communication. Yeah.
So important. So that's so nice. It's still new and
Yeah.
it's evolving and turning into its own special thing, which is lovely.
Yeah.
And you're
And-
doing this, like you're so like real and raw. Like, hi, nice to meet you. Want to do a podcast with me? Okay.
Second,
What's it about? I don't know. It's
Second
about
date.
us. But we just met. I know. Who cares?
who cares?
It's great.
We're going to do it anyway.
We're just
What
going
if
to
it
interview
falls
a bunch
apart
of
on the
people together.
podcast?
Oh, well,
Right.
we got
Well,
a journal.
That'll make a great show.
Yeah, a great show.
Right? No, we don't have it figured out. Like we're both navigating, and my marriage failed after 17 years, and you've been through 2.
I've been through 2.
And coming together, I was on sabbatical from dating. I was just like, I'm done for a bit. I'm going to raise kids and just do my work. And then along comes Andy, and I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore. So really enjoying just being in the relationship, because one, I want to grow, and I can't grow on my own. And I really love being with Andy. So it's a win-win.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have soup breath right now. You have the benefit of being in Florida, but yeah, we just ate dinner.
I'm in Florida, and we have an alligator.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. As a pet.
I'm trying to decide, because it's trying to become a pet. It shows up on our house like every other week. It's there.
So no out sun tanning or anything.
Oh yeah, I do all that. He comes out at night. He comes out at night. He comes out typically around 11 to midnight. So when I'm taking dog out for the last walk of the night, we often have to turn it around and go back in and let the gator find its way back to the pond, and then we go out to walk the dog.
Holy cow, that's crazy.
Yeah, we're
That's
kind of
almost more
sorting
scary
that
because
out.
it's at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, husband comes, he has gun, knife, bat. We're all walking around this gated community with full on like Crocodile Dundee, let's do it. But yeah, there's apparently all these laws about how to deal with them if they attack you. Like apparently you can go to jail for a long time if you kill them.
Really?
Defending
Yeah.
your
So
life.
I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to do, hence the bat. Because I can do a lot with a aluminum bat. I played softball for a long time. So. Be like, I'm not going to kill you, but I'm just going to.
This is going to hurt. You're going to feel it. You're going to talk about
Cha-bing.
this for years. Cha-ping.
Right.
Well,
Yeah. I mean, what would you say to somebody that's starting out? Let's say we're past, actually, let's go backward, because we get a lot of questions about the dating scene, right? Like, how do you know how to approach people? When do you know it's right? What should the guy do? What should the girl do? Like for us, it was none of what everybody says, right?
Well, everybody wants to meet people in the wild. That's the word, right? I want to meet somebody in the wild, like, which is kind of what happened with you. You just had circle of friends, similar circles. You were out, everybody's out and about, you meet each other. And that's how I met my husband too. We had a mutual friend. She had a birthday. I went, he went, bang, we met at the party.
the birthday. So
The birthday.
That's how we met too. Is a birthday. Go to birthday parties.
Go to birthday parties.
The mutual friends. So to that, one of the tips that I always give to people, and one of the things that we do a little inventory on when I'm coaching, is tell me about what you do for fun. Like, what's your social life like? And it's unfortunate that since COVID, a lot of people became very isolated and got used to that. And maybe they reconnected with friends, but maybe they moved to a new part of their state, or maybe they moved to another state. Like there's been a lot of movement since COVID. Relationships ended, new ones began, and a lot of people who were single, who were in a relationship, are very single now. So it's really made people very isolated, very alone, and it's not healthy and it's not good. And you have people spending weekends alone with their pet or just doing nothing. And it's just sad because these people want to love and be loved, but it's like all they know how to do is like go to the market, buy some food, come back, binge Netflix, and like work out maybe. So they don't really have anything going on. And furthermore, a lot of the people that I coach are very work. They're hardcore on work. So they're working from home, and then they'll like eat, and then they'll shower and they'll work out and then they're back on the computer. And it's just this hamster wheel matrix existence. And it isn't very conducive to meeting people.
So I'm over a singles community, and we got about 1,100 people there. And it's just something I started like a year ago because as part of another one, and it was messed up. Anyway, the head of it is in jail now.
Oh yeah, drama.
Oh, okay. So
wow. That's some group. I gotta join that.
If you want to see some change, let's do something different.
Crazy awesome parties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought I'm going to detach myself from this, and I moved on. But the thing is, I love it. It's a great outlet. We're socializing like crazy, but it's almost, you see the same people 8 years, 10 years. I mean, I've only been doing this for a year and a half, 2 years, say. Okay. So, but you see them, the same ones, and they're there, and you see the fresh people come in, and I think of it as sharks in the water, new blood and everything. And you hear the complaints from the guys, the girls are standing them up, the girls, they're, everybody's a friend. And
hey.
Like, what would you suggest is the best way, or how to navigate through that?
Well, I feel like when people are really clear in what they want out of life, they go and attract it. So I think what we see out there is a lot of a lack of self-awareness, a lack of intentionality. There's just people out there floating around. They don't know what they want, and they're all showing up someplace in a social setting, and they wouldn't know if it was it in front of them because they don't know what they want. So most of the people who come to me and we start coaching, I ask them, who is your ideal person? Who is your ideal person? What are all the qualities that they have? And before we even get into that, I have them back it up a minute and say, what is your ideal life? What does your ideal life look like? Are you living it presently? And if not, what does that look like? And give them permission and the space to dream. A lot of people are not doing that. A lot of people are in their matrix existence.
They're just hoping they win the lottery, right?
Yeah, they're just not. Yeah. So, it gives them this almost like an inspiration where they can be like, oh my God, how am I living? And like, what do I want to live like? And then they start to get very clear on that. And then they start to see that it's possible. And they start taking baby steps to work towards it. And then I'm like, okay, now that you're clear on what it is that you want for you, with no shame in that game whatsoever, what type of person would be most appropriate to have by your side as you endeavor upon your dream life? So that's where we get into, I was dating somebody long distance. I don't know why I was doing that, because you weren't intentional. Here you are saying to me, I really wish that I can see my guy like 2 or 3 times a week at least. And then, have something fun to do on the weekends. It's like, okay, you're not going to get that with Jeremy in Colorado if you are Melissa in Miami. It's just not going to happen. So once you start to get super intentional about what you really, truly want and how you really want to truly be in a relationship, then it becomes much more easier to call that in and not settle for just anybody who's looking in your direction. You become much more discerning. You become much more crafted in your delivery of how you speak about yourself, the questions you ask them, because you know what it is that you're looking for.
That's
so
beautiful.
You could ask these open-ended questions and garner so much information just by being friendly and open. Something as simple as like, if you're a woman and you meet a guy and he's cute and you're just kicking it, talking, and you just ask him a simple question. So tell me about yourself. What do you like to do for fun? That one question, first of all, it's like an NLP technique. So one, he's equating you with fun instantly, right? So instead of saying, what do you like to do? What do you do for work? Like, what if he hates his job? Like, don't ever talk about that. Right? Like, you just put him back in the stress of work, even if he loves his work, right? It's like, don't talk. What do you like to do for fun? From that, you're like, I'll give you an example of a client who used that question. And she said, it was the best question because in 5 minutes, I learned he had 3 kids under age 10. So nice to meet you, but no. And she also learned that he was lawyer starting his own practice. Like most unavailable guy ever. So she was able to ascertain that from a question completely unrelated to work and or children.
Yeah.
Because when she asked him, what do you like to do for fun? He said, wow, that's a great question. I don't have a lot of fun these days. Well, that's not true. I have fun with my children. And she said, oh, that's nice. You're an involved dad. That's great. How old are your kids? And he said, oh, 4, 6, and 8. She was like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, she gave like the speedy run. But no, she was gracious and polite about it, of course. She was like, hey,
but it is about alignment though, isn't it? So you're really trying to figure out if this person aligns for you or not. And I wrote a year and a half ago, I wrote my vision of my ideal woman in my life. And Andy is that. She fits like 98, 9% of the things that I wrote.
Oh my God, you manifested her. You scripted her into existence.
I scripted her
Weird science
into existence. But
I love it.
You know, there's there are friends, I've had friends put in their dating profile like, what childhood traumas are you dealing with? Right. And it gets the conversation going, but many of us are dealing with childhood traumas. But like you said, the more clear you get in who your person is, the more likely you are to recognize them when they show up.
Right.
Because that's a beautiful thing. Yes. And I wonder how many people watching this have actually slowed down to really script out their ideal partner
and give themselves permission to dream authentically. Like I remember the month before I met my husband, I sat at my center island with my journal and I said, all right, girl, what do you really want? What do you really want? And I was like, be as obnoxious about it as you possibly can. Like permission to be disgusting. Yeah. And I was like, I want a fucking ring that I can see from Google Earth. Period. Let's see. What else do I want? You see the center island? You see the center island I'm sitting at? I want one 3 times the size with a kitchen with a big fucking vent in the middle. So when I cook, it makes noise. I was just like, I want this. I want that. Almost like thinking of Veruca Salt from Willy Wonka. Like, Daddy, I want an Oompa Loompa now. Like very that type of like, I'm entitled to it. God wants me to prosper. I deserve this. I am not going to play it small anymore. I'm just going to ask for the most ridiculous shit ever. And furthermore, after that, I got into, okay, and what man is most appropriate for this life of this? Well, he's got to like nice shit too and not have any shame in the game. No, it's not materialistic because every time I buy something, I give something away. So you, right? You're a good person. So no shade thrown. Okay, so this dude likes nice stuff. You're going to decorate a beautiful house together. You're going to enjoy your home and share it with friends and loved ones. This is great. You're going to be cooking in the kitchen. He's going to be barbecue in the back. You have this pool. You have this life. It's going to be great. And then you're going to love each other and be best friends. And you're going to laugh at each other's ridiculous goofiness. And you're going to have a dog. And it's all the whole life. And this is a husband and I am a wife, right? Very clear. I am dating to marry. I am called to be a wife again. So once I looked at this whole entire thing, I said, all right, God, tell me what's next. And I channeled it and God came to me and it was like, my child, I love you so much. Be with me and only me and I will prosper you. So I took that to believe, let go of this. I made my little wish to the divine. God's in control. I'm going to go have summer of Lisa. This was summer of 2021. So I was going into Memorial Day weekend and I did my little exercise, my little journaling, and I had a blast. I went to this party on the, down like Fort Myers area. It was just fun, hanging out with friends, going to different parts of Florida. And on June the 19th of 2021, I got invited to my friend's party. I roll up. I'm all excited. I'm like, oh my God, they have linguine white clam sauce. I'm so excited. I'm going to eat delicious. I'm going to catch up with friends. It's going to be so fun. I'm going to wear this dress I haven't worn in so long. I made my friend this beautiful gift bag with little Moët Chandon and all this cute makeup stuff. I was just in the moment. I wasn't like, oh, am I going to go meet my husband? Like, I let it go. I was detached from the outcome, totally detached from the outcome. I was more attached to the linguine and white clam sauce that I was attached to.
It's all dripping down.
That I was attached to. Garlic breath, I didn't care. So I go, and at the table that I was seated at on the opposite side was my now husband. So we had a very, what you will call like a whirlwind romantic relationship first 4 months. So
you had him at linguine and the way you ate it also.
I was like the little dog, Lady and the Tramp. I was like, so we meet, we hit it off.
You're getting in on this. You throw it at
right? Him. Exactly. I'm lassoing him like Wonder Woman.
Reel that in.
Linguine of truth. Tell me everything. Yeah, so that was, how it was. And like, I went from, look at me, I'm so badass, it's summer of Lisa, I have no connection, nothing, I'm just free, to being proposed to 4 months later. So,
wow.
So then we get engaged, and then we waited like a year after that to get married, and then simultaneously got land to build house on, built house, I'm sitting in house. So there's a lot of manifesting going on with us. Like, we manifested each other, we manifested our dream life, and like everything that was in that ridiculous journaling, scripting thing that I did started to come to be. It was crazy. But I mean, crazy, but not, because, it's just, I geek out to like quantum realm, timeline stuff like that. But
I want to play with the idea of surrender, right? Mm-hmm. So the idea of letting go, because you were going to have your summer and you created this vision and then you let it go. Right. And this is where I think people get a little hung up on their visions, is they create their vision, they go to work forcing it into reality. Right. And there's a level of letting go that has to play into it. That
because it's not about efforting, it's about allowance. Mm-hmm. So when I made that decision of like, summer of Lisa, it's going to be great, I genuinely was open to anything. Meaning it's going to be summer of Lisa because I'm not in a relationship with anybody. But if I meet somebody great, of course, my heart's open to receive that. I'm just not going to live my life desperate for that. I'm going to have a good time.
Well, I think people sense that too. If you came across as this hungry Lisa, I'm on the prowl here. Like Duran video, whatever it is, you're not going to. They're going to run.
I love it.
The guys are going to be like, whoa. Right.
Yeah. So and I was very, very clear about what my intention was. So when I met my husband and he asked me out for dinner and I went, I told him straight up, I said, I'm a woman of integrity. And I think that it's respectful of both of us if I am just super honest with what I'm dating for. So purpose of my dating is to find my husband and be a wife. And if you're not up for that, because dude, you're like, in your 50s and I'm 50 and like you've been there before and you don't want to do that again. Totally understand. We'll hang out, whatever, all is good. And we won't, force anything on anybody. But this is my intention. So if you're not about that, cool, all good. No harm, no foul. I'm just telling you where I'm at. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, for the right person, I'm all about that. I'm a relationship guy. I prefer commitment. I want to be under the same roof with my person. I want to build something extraordinary in this phase of my life with somebody, and it has to be the right person. So I was like, oh, cool. Okay. I'll have a Stella Artois, please. I was like, okay. Yeah. So like, it was just like a very natural, and then I hit him with the whole thing of like, I'm dating to marry. So therefore I am dating as a wife and I'm acting wifely. I'm behaving in a wifely manner. So I will not be having sex with anyone until I'm in love with them. Mm. And I worded it that way specifically because if I said, I'm not going to be having sex with anyone until there's love, he could be like, well, I'm in love with you right now. He could have used that. Right. But instead it's like, no, I am a lovable girl. I know you'll be, I know I'm a lovable person. I have to be in love with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Do you want to tackle this for us? What would you say to somebody that says that?
I've scripted my ideal partner. Where the F is she? Honey, she's on the page, which means just like a restaurant, you placed your order with the universe in doing this amazing exercise. Read this piece of paper every night before bed and thank the creator that this person exists and that she's been placed on your mind and your heart. Because the very same thing that you thank for her will bring her to you. Like, learn to thank what is unseen and it will become seen. So she's out there. She exists. Know that she exists in your heart, mind. It's there. You just have to get on the timeline where she is, and then you'll know it as soon as you meet her. Oh my God, you'll know it as soon as you meet her. Oh, I wish you luck with that. That's beautiful.
That's beautiful. Yeah. How about this? So how important is having the child involved from the previous, or this is how he says it, or what's the best way to include the child of a previous relationship?
This is amazing. I can speak to this both from person who was the child being involved.
Yeah.
So like I said earlier, my parents, they did a really, despite being young and, a little kookadook, they did a really good job when it came to me and including me and other people with me. So first thing is really being sure that the person is the person, not that you're just having a season of dating and meeting people and just kind of being casual. But like, if you're full on in something with someone, make sure that it's the real deal before involving the kid in. Also, get really super clear on discipline, right? Like, there are a lot of moms out there who want the man to pay for things, to show up in a certain way as a leader. But when that man puts forth a boundary, like, don't run around in my house with soda, you're going to spill it, you're going to trip, we don't know running, that kind of thing, she gets mad. He can't discipline. So it's very important. It turns men off incredibly. So it's important to get clarity around how does she discipline her kids? What is her value around elders? Meaning, is she raising her kid to respect elders, or is she raising her kid to only be disciplined by her? Right? It takes a village to raise kids. And we've been conditioned in the last, I'd say 30 years to be very isolated with parenting. It's like, only the parent can say something to the kid. When is before, remember, I'm Gen X. If I was, let's say I was at a supermarket and I started goofing off with my cousin and knocked down the big thing of ding dongs, the Drake's cakes, dating myself. And the manager was like, where's your parents? Where's your mother? Like, you're in trouble. And you're like, oh my God, I'm dead. But now there's like a consequence for anything with kids. So to answer this question, it's a very valid question. Make sure that you're A, serious about one another, and B, you're on the same page when it comes to values about rearing a kid. Because as long as you are involved in that kid's life and you're paying money for that kid's hot dog and tickets to the sporting games and whatever, and making an effort, you should have a right, albeit not on a abusive level, but you should be able to correct that kid when necessary.
So it goes the other direction too, right? For women, because some men don't allow their wives to discipline or girlfriends to discipline, right? So
exactly.
In both directions.
Come on, I'm sitting here doing laundry for this lunatic brat, and I can't say anything. But I tell you, from the perspective from the perspective of the kid being involved with the parents and having step parents, right? And learning how to navigate that. My stepmom is only 16 years older than I. So I met her when she was 19, I was 3. She's like best friend to me. Like, we're very close. She's got her ways, she's got her quirkiness, whatever, and could be bratty sometimes, but she's out of the parents, she's really the one that really knew her role and decided to be more of like a weekend mom friend. Never had to yell at me, never had to like put me in my place, nothing. And I was a very acquiescent kid. So it's a hard thing to understand in that I thought that there was something wrong with me because the older people were yelling all the time. So I thought, let me just make myself really quiet and small and just kind of stay out of the way and do great in school and achieve and just like give them nothing to worry about. Meanwhile, I was abandoning my own needs and my own feelings and my own voice, right? So it was like, oh, you're a good girl. Yeah, because I'm quiet and I'm out of your way. So I'll keep doing that. But meanwhile, there were things that I needed that I wasn't getting that I didn't even know how to ask. And then the second you start going into relationships, you're like, ooh, you could give me that. You could give me that. You could give me that, right? So it's very external. So, this thing of bringing the kids in, it's like, it's a very important aspect of, being in partnership with people because those kids, they have to be seen, heard, validated, not overindulged, disciplined when necessary, and held accountable.
Yeah. So the elephant in the room. So I have kids, right? And I've got a daughter that is really not liking dad dating, right?
Oh, okay.
And so she's been pretty difficult. And so, this ties into that. I've talked to her mom about it. I've talked to her grandma about it. I'm like, this is what's going on and I need your
What
help.
was her
I've been
reason?
broke.
Why doesn't she want dad dating? Is she like afraid you're going to get hurt?
No, she just doesn't get my attention like she used to get.
Well, I wonder like if there's a way to work that out, right? Like maybe there's a way that you can still date and assure her that your time with her is sacred and precious and you're not sacrificing that for anybody. And anything she needs, and you want to have like, a rolling Zoom call twice a week. And how old is your daughter? She's
11.
So she's at an age where she wants her dad for sure. Because let me tell you what, my dad said it to me, like we were talking about this, and my dad's a young dad. He's only 23 years older than I. And he said, there's nothing more heartbreaking when your only child is a daughter and she goes from 11 years old, like, Dad, we're going to the Jet game. Yeah. Like, look at my Gastineau jersey. La, like you're to, so I have a party on Saturday and I'm not going to be able to come to your house this weekend.
She's probably going to do that sooner than later.
Yeah. And it goes like this, it was like a blink of my dad's eye. It was, hard for him.
It would be one thing if it was just me, but she does it to my ex's boyfriend. She does it to the grandma. She doesn't want anybody dating.
And his time is sacred with the girls on the weekend.
Like
pretty sacred, other than
I spend the weekends with them.
With us. Yeah.
But she doesn't say much. She just rolls her eyes, and I'm like,
her distaste is very apparent.
So how do we navigate that as a couple? How would you advise us in that? As because we're still navigating that. I mean, that's
I think it's a fair thing to go through, of course.
Right.
And you are right. And the communication is key, and asking her, what do you think will happen if I date? Like, I'm dating this wonderful woman and someday I'd like for you to meet. If you haven't met already, I don't know if you have.
Yeah.
And I just want to know what your perspective is, because it matters to me. You're my daughter. So validate. And just let her have the floor. Just be like, what? Because she'll reveal ridiculous things. She'll reveal like, well, I don't know. How's it going to work? What if you get married and then like I have to come and live with you? And then like, what happens if I'm not? The things are they're very self-focused when they're little like that. Yeah. Right. So their needs can be something as simple as, okay, so I had a client, going through and it was this boy and he was 11 and he was freaking out about his stuff. They have a very big connection to security and they find that through stuff. So it was like, am I going to have 2 rooms? How does this work? Like, because the mother and the new boyfriend, they were, talking future and all this. And the kid was like, whoa, like I live in this house and my whole life. And now what? You're going to sell this house and like, we're going to live somewhere else. Like it was just these little things. Where will I go to school? I'll have new friends. Like little things like that stress them out. So any way that you could let her voice out whatever her concerns are. And the thing about attention, it could be something as simple as, all right, so how can we both win here? Because you matter to me, you're my daughter, and I have to be happy in my life, and I will be happy in my life.
Yeah, and now it comes down to just holding to that, because I've had these conversations. I talk to my daughter like she's 20, and so we'll get pretty deep with it. And sometimes, we'll have these conversations. She'll roll right back into that negativity, and so
Yeah, because
I
she's
think,
not 20,
even
she's 11, so she's
she's
still, I
11.
want my daddy, right?
I get that. And
Yeah.
navigating it too with us as a couple is we've got to talk it through too, like, because it is impactful. It does impact. It does affect.
Absolutely. Yeah, it totally does. And it's important to take the lead, like be that, masculine leader of the family. Here's how this is going to roll. And I want to know what you need for it to be okay with you, even if it's not, but it's going to somewhat be okay with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that matters to me. Like, as long as they feel like they matter, then it's like, yeah, I kind of do want to see my dad happy. And then, the girl that's 11, kind of like anti, could be the girl who's 15 and
what do you think about it?
Is like best friends with her. And she's like, oh my God, do you remember when we first met? And I was like 11. I was such a little asshole. And look at us now. She's my shopping buddy. We get our nails done. We get our hair done, right? Like you guys can be the best friends. So it's just a matter of open communication. What are your fears? Sweetie, what do you think is going to happen if dad falls in love with somebody? What do you think is going to happen? And let her just reveal like what she really thinks is going to happen, and have that open conversation,
Yeah. I mean, from what she's expressed, is she feels like you love her, you don't love me.
Oh no. Papa's got love for everybody, honey. Come on.
Her and
no. It's and that's interesting too, because that could get into like the whole like divorce. In her little treasure trove, she has a belief that says, if this person loves this person, they can't love me too.
Right.
And you can negate that and say, oh no, honey, I have love for everybody.
I do that.
It's love for everybody.
And it may just be like something that I just have to keep reinforcing, because I do have love for her. I've got love for Andy. I have love for all my kids. Like I hate it when my kids say, which one of us is your favorite? I'm like, don't
the one
put
who
me in that
pisses me off the one who pisses me off the least.
The one who doesn't ask that question.
Right. The one who doesn't ask that question, the one who cleans my car.
Right.
The one who empties the dishwasher, the one who takes the towels out of the washer and puts them in the dryer.
I like it. Yeah.
And then you start running that shit with them. Right. How many do you have?
I've got 4.
Oh, honey, I'd be like, oh my God, you're my favorite kid today.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, attention, everybody. What are their names?
The older 2 are just about gone, but there's Elena, Marco, Ava, and Capri.
Okay, Ava's my favorite kid. Everyone meeting in the kitchen. Ava wins best kid of the day. Why? Because Ava took out the dishes in the dishwasher.
Right. Yeah.
And you heathens have until Friday. And look, $100 bill, crispy, for whoever can keep this house tip-top shape. Let's see.
You know what? That might be the way to get
work this.
Yeah, get Capri over this. Is look, I got a crisp $100 bill. If you just like get over this, let's move on.
I got a Krispy Kreme.
Right.
Right.
No, like the time and attention is a big thing, because I wasn't dating and there was a lot of time and attention with my kids, like really focused time and attention. And so, with work and dating and kids, it's like there's not a lot of attention in any area, really. You do your best. Yeah. So I just fair warning, Nick and Andrea, I'm about to crash your party. Is he close by? Apparently.
He just went to Hawaii.
That's awesome.
That's why there's pineapple.
Yeah. Not the other reason.
Right.
and
I had
good
a
for you,
friend
it
of
was
mine.
not
Oh
upside
my
down,
gosh, I
right?
had a friend of mine over for dinner this past Friday, right?
Yeah.
So she was friends with me in Miami. She moved to this side of the state, so we see each other. So I have her over for dinner. Mark makes beautiful dinner for us. We're hanging out. She leaves. She sends us a thank you card. Love it. Love the old school because it's like cursive, handwritten, beautiful. But the card, the cover of the card had a pineapple on the middle of it.
And it was upside down.
I was like, what's going on with this? But no.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this
So
is our guest here.
we have a guest.
We do. This is like Mr. Rogers. We have people just showing up.
Look at this. This is wonderful.
Hello.
Oh, and a puppy.
This is my fur baby. My babies are moving out of the house.
You're doing a great job. Enjoying the show.
Thank you. I hope I answered your question.
You did good. Yeah.
Okay, good.
You did good. If we were to wrap up and if you were to say one final thing to everybody that's watching, what's one question you wish you would have been asked tonight, and what would you say to that?
Oh, wow. So I guess the question I wish I was asked was, well, it was kind of asked in like where is he? Like where is she? That kind of energy. So because a lot of the coaching that I do is often rooted in quantum realm, law of attraction, law of vibration, and the frequencies and the energies, I always like to tell people, Nikola Tesla, honey, energy is everything. And if you're vibing low in your life and you just aren't like about life, you're just about life, you cannot possibly vibrate at the level that's necessary to call in that amazing person. So take some time to just get into joy, even if it's for a few moments a day where you're doing something that lights your heart up, and make that a ritual every day. Dance around your apartment, work out, walk around in nature, whatever your thing is, do it. And in that vibration, you can go and run an errand and honey meet your man while reaching for toilet paper at CVS, because you've done the energetic preparation to raise your vibration to receive that and other blessings that already are existing for you. So the energy game is a big part of this for sure.
Awesome. Anything else you want to share or ask?
Man, I think we could keep you on for another hour. I'm enjoying this so much.
Good. Well, I love chatting with both of you. Your story is just very inspiring. Even, like it's nice to see people of a certain age believing in love in a time.
What are you saying?
Like, look at, all right, I'll say it. We all old as fuck, yo. We got marriages. The Gen X crowd.
That's right.
Right? We're not giving up on love. Like, why? Never, ever. So it's nice. It's very nice to see, and especially in a world gone kookadook where they're trying to make people divided and not have babies and don't get to, not just like you're not going to have babies, but you have children. You're going to end up raising your tribe together. So this is the strength of a nation, of a global community too. Family. You have a strong family, nobody can mess with you. No one can mess with you. Yeah. So it's important. It's very cool that you're putting this together and navigating it, and it'll all sort out.
I think it also helps that we've been doing our work, and I
like this question. I'm a hopeless romantic. Is that a problem or good? I would like to have you reframe that to a hopeful romantic.
Ooh.
There we go.
There you go.
Manifest, Brandon.
Wonderful. This is great, you guys. I loved being with you tonight.
I would love to hear it.
No, I was just saying, like, how each day he thinks about, how am I going to show up? How am I showing up today? And just to be very intentional and aware, because we don't want to do this rodeo again. We're old. We are. And neither one of us want to do it again. And so just to be intentional every single day.
No, because it's exhausting. I told my husband, I go, where are we going from here? Where are we going from here? Because you imagine telling
How long have you
some-
been married?
Next week, 1 year.
Yay!
1 year.
Yeah.
That's so
I love
sweet.
it.
I'm 52, he's 58, and we're newlyweds. Isn't that cute? I think it's
That is
cool.
cute.
I like it. I like it.
I like
And
it.
that's the thing, like people out there watching and they're like, I'm too old for love. My ship has sailed. I've been around that block before. I don't want to date anybody. They're going to take all my money. I had that happen. I'm not, honey, come on. If you have love to give and you can receive it back, your health will change, your perspective on life, your mindset, you'll have hope. No nihilism. Terrible. It's
Yeah,
already,
hope is
I mean,
beautiful.
think about it.
Yeah.
The stuff that we see out there in the news and whatever, the news, is so negative and awful and everything. But like when you shut that off and you still have the negative and the awful spinning in your own head, you don't have that person to be like, hey, what are we eating for dinner tonight? Do you want to have Chinese or do you want me to make Mexican? Like, what are we doing? Right? That person snaps you out of that nihilistic, the world is ending. Oh my God. You know, what's happening with my crypto? Like, it's like all these things, you know, these concerns, you know, that we all have, especially now that the world is crazy. But that person in your little bubble, at least you have that sense of safety that no one can mess with this, right? That the darts are coming from all over, but this little bubble of this little paradise we created and we curl up together and watch a movie. This is peace. This is joy. This is a sense of togetherness and connection. Right. So yeah, I feel bad for the people who have, you know, kind of thrown in the towel on love. It's like a corner of their, like earlier when I was talking about the mansion of their soul. Imagine if you're living in like a 5,000 square foot mansion of your soul, but you're only living in the kitchen and the TV room, but you have this whole house and you're like shutting the doors. Nope. I'm just going to live here, but you're paying for everything for the house. It's ridiculous. You're still, you're hindering yourself from the growth. Like you said, you know, the growth that happens when you are considering somebody else in your life.
I love it. Yeah, I'm grateful for that. That's one thing I've seen with our relationship is we talk about everything, and we navigate the emotions, we navigate the triggers, we hold together while we do it. So, and it's sometimes not easy. Like some of our emotions come up. We have our emotions come up
once a month.
Once a month.
You understand that?
That ship has sailed for me.
Okay. Yeah.
So happy.
And she's talking about me. So
happy.
My once a month. Right.
So
the man period.
The man period. It's a thing. I think it's a thing. It's a man period. I think it's more like about the moon.
Yeah. But we navigate it, and it's really refreshing to have somebody to walk alongside. You know, she doesn't complete me, I don't complete her. We're whole people individually. We come together in this thing called relationship, and we're navigating it, and we're sharing our journey as we go. So it's like we don't have it figured out any more than anybody else, but we're going to figure it out, you know.
And the thing is, just when you think you have it so figured out, like life just throws you another lump of shit to deal with. And when you're looking at it as a team, like I always say to my husband, like the scene in Gladiator, one of my favorite movies ever, when he says, whatever is behind those walls, we stand a better chance if we fight it as one. And he goes, on my command, as one. And they look like a turtle. They put their shields, and then he runs forward, and then they charge, and they end up kicking the shit out of everybody. That's kind of like an analogy for life, right? You don't know what's coming at you. You don't know. But if you can make the agreement that whatever is coming at us, we are stronger together and we're going to hit that as a team, then you're unstoppable. Nothing, you know, when people glorify God in more than one person together and they say, you know, God, we want to strive for this and we have these obstacles and please help us in your glory and we'll walk through the fire in faith, like just help us. That end result will happen. And who you become in the journey towards that end result is going to solidify your bond even more. That's why it was like, people are like, you know, you and Mark, you've been together for like 3 years. And I'm like, yeah, but it feels like I've known him for 10, 20 years. Like we just on a very mental, spiritual, soulful way. We just get each other.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that's, the vibe that happened with you guys too.
Yeah. I think we get each other. We're
Yeah.
getting each other.
Getting each other.
Yeah.
And we don't. We give space to each other.
That's great.
Yeah.
Space is important.
To fill it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to share
No,
today?
down the road, we'll check in with you again.
Yeah, please do. This was delightful. You guys are great.
It's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is
And
awesome.
thank you for serving our community,
Yeah,
with
of
your
course.
words and wisdom. And
Yeah.
for those that are watching,
I
yeah,
have
go
a
ahead.
gift for people.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Is that
yeah, let's
cool?
hear it.
Yeah.
All right, because my love language is gifts. I like to give gifts and get gifts. Okay.
Yeah.
So if people stayed to the end, they can go over to my website, which I think is the ticker thing. And there's a free Love Life assessment there that they can take.
Yay!
And it isn't like some AI bot bullshit. It's actually a thing, a form.
What do you mean no AI bot bullshit?
It's not like, you plug in some crap and you answer stupid questions and then you get spit out this ridiculous
That's
thing.
funny because
No,
I
it's
work
just
with
an
AI.
actual
so
like a form, and you have questions, and then you answer
funny.
the questions, and then I get all the questions and I read through carefully, and then I actually write you back.
That's
It's a
cool.
deep-
That's
Actually,
awesome.
that's
Thank
really
you.
cool.
Bye,
Yeah.
Hugh. Thanks for participating.
They need to go to LoveQuestCoaching.com.
Yes.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Okay, for everybody that's watching, thanks again for being a part of this.
Yes,
Go to
thank you.
LoveQuestCoaching.com, and we will be back next week, potentially with another guest. We have no idea week to week how we're doing this. We just show up and keep sharing. So we love you. Thanks for being a part of this. You guys make it an amazing evening, and we will see you on the next episode.